And then on top of that, I got the old thumbnail too. Man, this is what happens when you make modifications and you don't know.
Man, you do know. You just got prepared, man.
Yeah, but we started talking so much. And, breaking news, WWE has released Bray Wyatt. I guess we could add another legend kill to Randy Orton's list. I would be mad if the job me out to Orton 2 WrestleManias.
What are you talking about?
I'm reading the comments in the chat. In the chat that was there.
Thank you for doing that in the thumbnail part where you don't tell us what's going on or if we're live or not.
Well, we are live.
You tell us when we're live.
We're live.
Tell us we were live.
You gotta tell us. We can't just go like, what are we supposed to do?
I don't know.
I can say something racist and homophobic all of a sudden. Hot mic.
Marcus, I'm about to roll the intro so you don't say that. Welcome, everybody, to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I am Eric.
I'm Manny Langston.
Oh, wow. He's very Langston. And I am Marcus Kingston. And you're watching the Old Day Podcast.
Wow.
I would love to be the Naked Duck. Can we be the Naked Ducks to the New Day and just be the power of negativity?
Exactly. It works.
We are the power of negativity. I you know what? I kind of like that.
Eric blowing the trombone of hate.
Yes. Wait. I do not want to play the trombone because that means that I'm the negative Xavier Woods, and I don't want that.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Woods. You are Woods. You go down, down, up, up.
Okay.
And I Kobe Kingston. I am the champion. I'm the one that won anything, and Manny has the money in the big briefcase.
Huh.
And people watch our show.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, it might be accurate, but we're here. We're here to talk about the breaking news. Sometimes you get into a show and you have an agenda and you think you're going to have a show go a certain way. And then WWE goes and they just blow up the whole thing. And did they blow it up? They blew it up by announcing that they had came to terms on the release
the worst
of Bray. Right. Marcus, I picked what they posted on their website.
I know. They picked the fattest picture of him.
The
worst picture. Like, we got rid of that, guys.
The worst thing about it, though, is that I know a couple of days ago, a picture of him coming out, being in really immaculate shape, came out to surface. So it's very interesting. Manny, I'm going to turn to you first. I've been a huge Bray Wyatt fan for a long time, but as we know, him being released is probably a shocker to the wrestling community. What do you think led to his release?
I don't think he's fully over the death of Brody Lee. And I think that's kind of affected him. We saw reports earlier in the year saying that he hadn't fully recovered from it, like towards his run at WrestleMania, and I think that's probably the downfall of it. I think grief has hit him quite hard. He seems like he's on the mend because he got himself in shape. If you go by the recent pictures that resurfaced of him, but yeah, I don't think his mind was in the right place at the time, and I think WWE and Bray Wyatt kind of. Came to terms, and they left on good terms.
Marcus,
it's sad that he's going.
Marcus, what about you? What do you think led to the release of Bray Wyatt and going for it?
Well, I think it's a serious thing. It's a personal, professional business, A lot of times when he would come back, he would do the Fiend gimmick, and then he'd lose to somebody like Goldberg or something like that. So it pushes and starts. But it could be a mental thing. I honestly don't know. It was only between Bray Wyatt and Vince McMahon. It's very weird for someone to be released on a Saturday morning. Normally it's in the middle of the week or something like that, but maybe they didn't want to hinder anything to happen with Smackdown. Who knows? So I have no insight to this whatsoever. I am just as shocked as everybody in the wrestling community that he's released. And Dare I say, he is AEW bound.
Well, Marcus, I'm going to disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that this is something more of a medical reason where, in essence, it's his mental health may not be in the best situation where it could be. I mean, he did lose his gimmick to Alexa Bliss. And quite frankly, let's be honest, the Fiend character was great during the pandemic era, but what can you really get away with now with live fans being back in the audience? I'm not really sure if this character was a character that could really
Wait a minute.
Hold on, let me make my point.
Before the pandemic.
No, but I'm just saying, like, for me, like, the whole thing about the whole Bray Wyatt character, The Fiend, was never a character that needed to be a champion. It's weird to have him as a champion. I liked him having him as a character. I love the Wyatt family and stuff of that nature, but I just think that they had so many starts and stops with Bray that I could see where he could get frustrated. He can be burnt out. He lost one of his best friends in the industry. I don't know if he does come back to wrestling. I don't think he comes back to AEW. He may come back to WWE. Who knows? Manny, do you see AEW in his future?
I can see creative wise. I see the allure for someone that's very creative in that terms of dark character gimmicks. I can see the allure with AEW sprouting off creative control and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he went there. It'd be a good move in terms of creative control and see where he could go with it. But I don't know. He seems like a WWE guy. So much like what's his name? The Giant.
Big Show?
His name already. No.
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Okay.
I think he may be back as well at some point, even though Braun Strowman's picked up a date in 2022 in Qatar, which means big sounding money.
Yeah, what can you say? Marcus, what about you? Is he AEW bound in your mind? I think you alluded to that earlier.
Yeah, I said those exact words. To be exact, Mr. Eric, that he is AEW bound. I just don't see how you don't see him ending up in AEW if WWE doesn't want him. He's extremely talented, probably one of the best mic guys in the game. His in-ring work is, it's okay. It tells more of a story than it does actually good wrestling matches. But I'm interested to see what he can do. And if he goes to AEW, I'm curious what they would do with him as being another WWE guy that they would have. But already he's extremely charismatic. His run in WWE, I can see him actually reforming the Wyatt family of some form or fashion in AEW with Braun Strowman and your boy Eric Redbeard. Or maybe even leading the Dark Order.
El Luchador said something in the chat room that I think is a very poignant point. He says he needs to be signed to creative if he doesn't want to wrestle. And I think he had a lot of creative ideas that took place in WWE that maybe the Vince was not behind. If anybody pays attention to any of the shareholder phone calls that WWE has for stockholders, which in full disclosure, I do own some WWE stock. It has not made me any money, but I do hold stock in WWE.
Which is why Eric was in Texas, wherever that death match was, throwing bottles at Zack Ryder.
Manny, he would even make me pull out my credit card for that. But in the shareholders call, Vince McMahon said something.
You would throw your credit card.
And the quote said, "I'm not sure where their investments are when it comes to their talent. Perhaps we could give them some more." Now, Manny, being the astute investigative reporter that he is, he went and he listened to the investor phone call, and he has a little bit more context into what Vince was alluding to. Manny, could you take the floor?
But can we call him Manny Scoop?
Scoop.
Scoop.
Scoop, can you give us a scoop?
Well, the ending line just appeared that he was like alluding to Nick Khan giving the investors a bit more information, rather not alluding to, maybe we could just give them a bit more talent. But I like to go down the route of let's give them more talent because that just sounds more funnier. Let's bankrupt them.
Yeah. Well, I think this is one of the advantage of AEW being a privately funded company is that you don't have shareholders to answer to. So you could spin whichever way you want to spin. You could go and piss off potential sponsors by having people slice open with pizza cutters and stuff like that, which is still one of my favorite stories because Marcus kept saying, "Man, this is fake. This is fake." And I'm like, Domino's was hot. They was hot because
the time they're hot and ready. Who do they think they are, Little Caesars? Going up with that bullshit.
But I mean, let's jump into that. Do you think that mainstream wrestling, I'm talking about wrestling that is on a network, is ready for the type of death matches or the type of characters that Nick Gage represents? Marcus, I go to you first. Like, is that something that the mainstream media could accept?
Mainstream media? You mean endorsements and stuff like
No,
that?
yeah, just like, like on national television, Marcus. I guess that's a better.
Well, I think it'd be fine every now and then. Like, everybody can have those parental discretion advised episodes of this show when things may get a little bit gory. But on a regular day basis, I don't think it's called for to have that CZW/GCW/old ECW kind of violence in the show. But it seemed like it was more of a back-to-back thing that kind of like deflated it for me. Like, it's like, oh, we shouldn't have had the Murder Hawk and Jon Moxley for a United States title fight like that when you have the Nick Gage thing. For me, it was just whatever. It breaks down again. I guess we'll talk more about this in AEW report, but I'll say this: it falls apart for me when someone has a piece of cutter. When I'm like, why don't they just bring knives, or why don't you just bring daggers or whatever, or use a gun?
Marcus, let Scoop speak.
The week before, Mox and the Murder Hawk kept stabbing each other in the head with forks. I think we've gone too far when we're using kitchen utensils. What next?
I
what
think
is actually
next?
But
spoons in the eye.
I'm gonna smack you up with a ladle.
But I think for me, like, the whole thing of it being on national TV, available to the masses, might be a big mistake, because I think it will turn off a lot of endorsements that they could possibly have. I mean, I think the fans eat it up, but to me, isn't this type of match like the match that ends a feud with somebody? Like, they built this up, and then this is the only way you can solve this is like a death match.
Well, it works with the labors of Jericho, where you put him through hell.
No, Manny, Manny. No, we gonna stop right there, because it does not work. Because you cannot tell me that it makes fucking sense that you just had a death match with Nick Gage, who was supposed to be the king of death match, and then the third labor is Juventud Guerrero. That is such a downgrade.
No, you're missing the point of the labors of Jericho, Eric. This is your life. Or It's a Wonderful Life of wrestling stories right here. All right, so we start off with who did he fight first? Shit, who's the first one?
He shot Sean Spears, Marcus. Sean Spears.
It was that was the current. All right, and Nick Gage is like, if you remember Die Hard, Hendo, or Lethal Weapon, Hendo, who would do the torturing, and he'd do that. So that's where we're at right now. He just tortured him, and now he's going to his past for the personal grudge with Juventud Guerrero, another former meth addict. He is going through the layers of meth, Eric. The layers of meth. Until finally he gets to a crackhead at the end where they are undefeated. I've never seen a crackhead lose at anything. Well,
Manny,
other than family and everything else.
Do you agree with what Marcus just said right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're taking him through an emotional roller coaster, Eric. You're taking it through an emotional roller coaster. The worst type of beating is an emotional beating, because that affects you long term. You may recover from a beatdown physically, but mentally you will not recover from it.
But I sit here and I'm thinking that if I'm MJF, like, shouldn't you make something where he doesn't win? Like, I just don't think Juventud Guerrero is gonna really get the job done.
It's not about winning at that point. Juventud is not about winning. Juventud might win the match because of the emotional trauma. Jericho ruined his effing life. All right? He beat him. He took his mask off, Eric, and Juventud was disgraced. And he had to see his ugly mug all over the world. Only to go debut, Jericho to only go debut in WWE. And The Rock criticized Juventud Guerrero. That is garbage. And then he's like, and then Jericho gets to brag about taking his mask off. He ruined Juventud's life. Okay? If I was Juventud Guerrero, Eric, I am coming in there with a grudge, and I am coming in there more dangerous. I'm not coming with no piece of cutter. You may not lose sponsors. You may get canceled after what I do to you, Jericho. You cost me my life. I'm addicted to meth, all right? I'm riding on lawnmowers, okay? I drive lawnmowers down the street now because of you.
Eric, let's put it this way. You like video games, right?
I do enjoy a good video game. I do.
So if the first boss fight was the hardest boss fight ever, would you continue playing the game? There'd be no point playing the rest of the game.
Manny, let's point out, that's why there's a game I can go back and grab right now. Demon Souls exists in my catalog because I can't even get past the mid-level boss. That fucking mid-level boss is hard.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying, it gets harder.
It should get harder. So each of these stages, they're all like mini boss fights. So he will have to face MJF.
Yeah. So what you need to think about, Eric, is Mike Tyson Punch-Out. If you started with Mike Tyson, it isn't a fun game. But if you start with Glass Joe, a la Shawn Spears, and end up to Pista Honda, aka Nick Gage.
I'm just saying, for me personally, Marcus, a death match would have been better placed as match number 3 instead of following Juventud Guerrero. Like I think a Shawn Spears to a Juventud Guerrero was a better transition for me. But I'm assuming Tony Khan has to work a lot of magic to try to book these labors of Jericho. I'm just saying.
But you have to go over history. And the biggest thing, Nick Gage, as you said, Eric, you looked at him and said, that's a meth addict. He looks unimpressive. He clearly isn't that impressive, and he had all the weapons in the world and couldn't take out a 50-year-old fat-ass Chris Jericho. So he is not a threat.
This is like the story of Red Dead Redemption on both games, where the story's heating up, and then they suddenly take you off stray to somewhere that's not even in America anymore. So when you're fighting in Mexico, and in the second game, I think it was Cuba. This is basically it. And unfortunately, he is also from that part of the world. But there we go.
I mean, I still love Red Dead Redemption. Let's not besmirch the name of what Red Dead Redemption happened. True, after you went to Mexico, the game really took a turn for the worse. But we're not here splitting hairs. Since we're already...
Can I also add that if the labors of Jericho do not end in the retirement of Jericho, I don't think this was all worth it. I think this should lead into his very last match. It will be a nice send-off. He go through basically his entire career of the labors, and then MJF retires him. That's the only way it ends.
So, as Wes said, Juventud and Chavo are relevant in 2021. Since we're already swimming in the pool of AEW, we might as well start there. You guys did not do a show this Thursday, so you did not get a chance to speak on Dynamite. And also NXT. So I would say, to my surprise, the opening match between the Elite and the Dark Order, I found entertaining for all of the production reasons and the theatrics that they gave me. I thought the Dark Order opening with Adam Page was one of the best things that AEW has produced in a long time. And then it was followed up by the Elite Squad coming out and seeing all these white men having absolutely no basketball skill whatsoever trying to dribble a basketball. Marcus,
Nick Jackson's got some game.
He couldn't make the dunk when he tried to win.
He hit a shot.
Marcus,
go watch the tape.
The opening match, Marcus.
The warm up on the court when they were doing layup drills.
Marcus, did you feel that AEW Dynamite started off with a big bang?
I thought that was a bang. I felt like I started a pay-per-view and I was toward the main event. Like, this is what I always wanted Survivor Series to be like, but we never get it like this, where you really do have teams. And the Dark Order Hangman Page intro felt like a movie trailer that I wanted to see this cowboy movie happen for whatever reason, with people with lucha masks and alcoholics and little people with orbs and hungy and the shadow silhouettes. I was all in on that intro. I went, wow, this is really production. And then the Elite came out to the, I wish they used the Michael Jordan song, but they didn't. They just used the regular music, what you call it. And I thought the Elite Squad, I thought it was a week late.
It was a week late. I felt it was a week late.
I thought it was a little week late because, we just had Space Jam come out like 2 weeks before. And I was like, it just should have been a perfect crossover. But shout out to Kenny Omega and his bad handles. But I bet you if he was left open, he'd hit the jump shot. It was entertaining, and going into the match, a lot of stuff didn't make much sense in the match, but it was still entertaining.
And for me, Marcus, when I have these type of matches where it's like elimination tag and stuff like that, I like when people actually get eliminated. I thought overall they did a really good job of telling a story. Something that I really appreciated AEW doing was telling a story. Manny, opening match for you. What were your takeaways from it?
there's no way you hear that music the Elite came out to and you never get hyped for any point. There's no one just sitting there like, just sitting there just like, I don't like this. It was actually a fun, entertaining. Exactly. This was a fun, entertaining opening match, which I really enjoyed for a change. And a match that included the Good Brothers, who I intensely disliked.
Manny, we are in that club together. Manny,
intentionally.
We are the negative.
I said intensely.
Yes,
intentionally. I walk into a restaurant, I see the Good Brothers. I know I gotta intentionally dislike this.
I feel the Good Brothers are so played out that it just needs to be an end needs to be put to them. Like they need to be put into the dirt. Now the thing about this though is that I felt that this was a very entertaining opening.
Can I correct you in that?
What?
They were already killed off at WrestleMania.
Yes, they were. They should have stayed there. They really should have stayed there. And you know, to my shock, because the first thing I was like, wow. They gonna get sued by Space Jam, and I was like, "Wait, this is TNT. They have permission to do all this stuff." And then I just said,
"No drama."
And I was like, "Damn!" As Marcus kept saying, "Why didn't this happen the week that Space Jam was premiering? Like, you could have got a lot of run with that." And be frank, I would actually order the Elite Squad tank top because I thought that was kind of cool. It was actually a very feel-good moment, and surprisingly, it's not often that a smile can be put on my face from watching the AEW.
You go with feel-good moment. I go with, why did Hangman Page lose? Just to play devil advocate. It was not fair, damn it. This is his time. I want Kenny and Hangman, and you keep postponing this shit.
Out.
Yeah, Marcus.
Don't log it out.
Don't log it out.
Marcus.
Don't log it out. I'm tired of it. It's played.
Marcus, the announcers are already trying to put this out because they even announced that Christian Cage is moving up the ranks because of Hangman's loss.
Hold on. One. So we were at Disneyland this week.
Yes.
I'll let these people in behind the curtain a little bit.
Marcus, we're letting them into the forbidden door of the negative zone, of the negative.
The power of negativity.
Yes.
And I would tell you, the negativity was strong with this one. As we were in line for Peter Pan.
I know what you're about to say, my brother. Let him know.
No more than 3 or 4 years old who threw a temper tantrum because of the lines. He said no. He stopped his mother and said no. I'm not going to continue with this. I am sick of these lines. And decided to stop. And his mom said, move ahead so we can move ahead in line. He just started crying. No, I refuse to go ahead. I will not stand for this. Why can't we just jump over the line and do what? That kid was invoking his white privilege at that very moment. His mom made a bunch of lies and promises. He laughed.
Yeah,
as that kid protest went in vain.
Because Maddie,
full protest, held up the whole line.
Maddie,
because he didn't want to be in line.
It was full tears and everything that this kid was doing, and then in a matter of seconds, he just back to normal, walking again, moving in the line. It was just like
he put on a spectacle show. But Eric, I relate to that little kid as I am waiting for Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, but they were bumped off because they want to move on with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. You want found some new expensive new booty, and you went for that, and they are going to all out with CM Punk or Daniel Bryan against Kenny Omega, and what may be even a triple threat match or some shit, or maybe a face to face. I just feel like it's a disservice to their people that they keep bringing in all these WWE guys that are taking the spot of the guys that brought them to the dance, that brought them to the table, that had traveled the world with them, who they considered friends, but won't consider champions. I'm just saying, not fair.
At that point, Marcus has made his point. So, like I said, AEW started off really hot. It was a great start. I was invested. I didn't have any hate in my heart. And then we got to the FTW celebration. And I said, you know, someone should have cut this celebration from the floor because I don't think anybody cares about Ricky Starks, Team Taz, Brian Cage, who promised that he was going to interrupt the celebration. I would say, Manny, my biggest takeaway from this celebration was that Taz was kind of cheap. He had no streamers. He only bought the brass band. What is he doing with the money that FTW is making?
Well, Eric, he had about 6 balloons on 2 ring posts. That was it. What kind of budget was this?
I've seen kids' birthday parties with more celebration than this.
The one thing I really enjoyed about this was when he threw the drum on the guy's head.
Yes,
so I was just like, But I was just like, that was unnecessary.
It was very, to me, I felt it was racially motivated.
Hold on. One, in defense of Brian Cage, if you're going to attack a band member, you always put the drum over the drummer's head. You always do that. No matter what's going on. If I ever go to jail for ruining somebody's celebration and they have a live band, I am clearly going to go to jail for smashing the drum over the drummer's head. Because you just got to do it. It just has to happen.
And then Hobbs wasn't even at the celebration. Taz was at the top of his thing. And then, like, I think for me, the biggest issue I have with this entire segment is Brian Cage. Marcus, as much as I want to get behind Brian Cage, and maybe I just can't. He is not ready, or I did not understand why he wasn't dressed for the occasion. Why did he come out to wrestle? Like, you was going to crash his party.
He was naked. What?
Why didn't he have a sneak attack to crash the party? Why wasn't he dressed as a band member? Well, because he would not. I wanted some more creativity to him crashing the celebration. Why couldn't I get that, Marcus? Why couldn't I get that?
Well, the fact that I'm blanking out his name. Who's the FTW champion? I don't know why.
Ricky Starks, baby. Ricky Starks.
Yeah, I don't know why I had a brain fart. Absolute Ricky Starks was promising to celebrate some celebrations, but it really wasn't. He didn't even have fucking confetti.
Betty, we had, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balloons. That was the celebration.
Yeah. I've seen Brandon Cutler come out with more pyro at a celebration than Ricky Starks had in his celebration. And the fact that I believe they were having audio issues and the crowd couldn't hear him, like, the whole thing was a fucking disaster. And nothing was accomplished. Nothing.
And you know what? Let me tell you this. I think Wes is correct when he says this. Andrade mic skills are better than Brian Cage promo skills. I am over Brian Cage. I don't know where they're going with this. And this is one of those things where they should just, like, if they stop talking about the FTW championship and stop talking about Brian Cage and had them disappear off of TV for a couple of weeks, I don't think anybody would be upset about it. I don't think I would be.
Okay.
No.
But would you rather have FTW or QT Marshall and his gang of family members, the Factory?
Oh,
that's not even fair, man.
Oh, Eric, that is true though. Because if you take FTW or the FTW family off TV, that gives more time to the Factory.
I mean, they even tried to mention QT Marshall saying something. I was like, this is bullshit. And then, so can we talk about something that was actually another positive? Because AEW did pick itself right back up right after this FTW celebration. And it was the match.
Never came back.
It was the match. No, Marcus. I believe the match between FTR and Santana Ortiz was a very entertaining match.
Right.
Until when Cash Wheeler pitched his arm somehow. Sorry. That was a fun match. And the whole time I was watching this match, I said, damn, these two teams could be so much more if they weren't anchored by the burden of being part of Pinnacle and being a part of the Inner Circle. Marcus, wouldn't this feud be so much better if there was just these guys fighting each other and they had real beef instead of being part of this gang warfare?
Well, the first thing I want to start with this is similar to J. Cole, rest in peace to the Ring of Honor, the AEW tag team titles, because those things are never mentioned. They're never defended. They just sit there. I think the WWE tag team titles, as irrelevant as they are in either brand, has taken a top ranking over the AEW tag team title because FTR Pride and Powerful should be something feuding for the title. There should be something on the line here. It's this personal beef that I don't understand involving gang warfare between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle that means nothing to me. But they had a good match. I hated that it ended abruptly due to probably the injury of Cash Wheeler. But it seems like that's where we're at. But I hope one of these teams at least go for the title at the end of the day. Because FTR, they haven't even thought about the titles since they lost them. When are they going to get their rematch? When are we going to get mentions of contenders? Like the AEW, the greatest tag team division in the world, has completely fell apart and dissolved once the Young Bucks got the title. I mean, the Hybrid 2 are aligned with Matt Hardy. The Blade is by himself, no longer with the Butcher.
The Butcher is torn, damn it.
I have not seen the Acclaim.
The Butcher's back in prison.
In a month. He failed parole violation. I told you not to leave the state. I have not seen the Acclaim. Private Party is also aligned with Matt Hardy. I don't know why Matt Hardy has 2 different tag teams.
So Marcus, I'm going to pause right there so I can ask Manny a question. Marcus did hit a nail on the head. Ever since the Young Bucks have become the new AEW Tag Team Champions, the focus of AEW and tag team matches have actually lessened to the point where now they're focusing more on trio matches. Do you think this is just a vanity thing of the Young Bucks keeping the title? Because as Marcus says, the tag team titles mean absolutely nothing right now, and it's actually quite disappointing in my opinion.
I think it's a bad case of.
Look at that camera shot.
I think it's a bad case. I think it's actually a bad case of the Forbidden Door, because they've got this super elite thing going on. You've got the Good Brothers with the Impact titles. You got the Young Bucks with the AEW titles, and you got Kenny with all the titles. I think it's one of those things where it's we've got all the gold kind of nonsense, and yeah, they 100% they've left tag team wrestling off the side, and that's supposed to be the Young Bucks thing. That's what they're the EVP of. They're supposed to be producing tag matches, and by what it looks like, they're not. I think what's happened is it's gone down. It's gone down. The only positive was the tag match that the FTR and Santana Ortiz had this week.
And ironically, again, what the hell is this camera shot right here? Betty's all by herself.
3 squares, Betty. Scoop.
I don't even know what happened right there. What happened to my What happened to my real camera shot? Why are we gold?
Skip Hayes right here.
I have no idea what happened right there. That has never happened before. Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Santana and Ortiz, and I feel I'm just going to ignore that. I feel they've been burdened by being a part of the inner circle, and then also for the lack of them having any semblance of a real tag team division anymore. I don't know how they fell so far. It's like ever since they started signing all this new talent, they could care less. I mean, if you
can I jump in?
Go ahead, Marcus, jump in.
I want to jump in on one of Wes's comments. The Acclaim is on Dark all the time. Ain't nobody watching no damn AEW Dark. That ain't a real show. You got to be on TV
Elevation.
to consider it a real show. Elevation, Dark, none of that's real. You got to be on Dynamite and assumed to be developed Rampage. At least.
So El Luchador said, we got tag teams having interesting feuds without tag titles involved. What interesting feuds are going on in the tag division in AEW? El Luchador, please let me know, because I don't know any. I don't.
Get him to dial in.
I'm assuming he's talking about the Pride and Powerful versus FTR feud.
That's only one feud. He said he had interesting feuds, man. Can we talk about a match that we don't need to have happen anymore? Because every time this match happens, bad things happen. And I'm talking about Nyla Rose versus Britt Baker, because we found out again this week, after another match Britt Baker having with Nyla Rose, she has now a broken wrist. Manny, is Britt Baker one of the most fragile women in AEW?
I think you've got to emphasize it a bit more. I think you've got to do it the Italian way. She's fragile.
Why do I got to do it the Italian way?
Because it makes it sound more fragile.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a talented wrestler. She's improved on the mic, but she's injury prone. And I get that it happens when you work with a bigger person like Nyla Rose, where gravity is not their best friend, but she gets injured all the time. It's ridiculous.
Well, you're gonna get injured all the time when you fight Nyla Rose. Can we start? We've had the Nia Jax counter for years.
She's called the Beast for a reason, Marcus. The Beast.
Yeah, but Nia Jax gets the hate all the time for injuring people. She's been, she hasn't injured anybody for a while, probably because she hasn't been in the ring for a while. But Nyla Rose seems like every time she gets in the ring, she injures somebody, and it's one of these people. So maybe that's the matchup you don't have. I don't understand why she had to go through Nyla Rose in the first place. It should be a Britt Baker Thunder Rosa feud, or Britt Baker and just give me someone new. Introduce Jay Cargill, who you introduce some color on this show.
Julia Hart,
Confederate flag and pasty ass white men feud for stuff.
How dare you
some color.
Julia Hart.
Introduce some color. No,
so,
he's trash.
Marcus,
He's trash.
I guess in
Where's
our
stat ladder?
Marcus,
Stat ladder?
in our attack of AEW and their feuds, Levi has said how many feuds WWE has in their ranks. Normally one. I can name at least 3 feuds WWE got going on right now, but I don't know if we're talking about tag matches or just feuds in general.
Tag feuds, because that's the topic we were on.
Hold on, I got one. Otis killed the Street Profits himself, and they were feuding without the titles on the line because the Mysterios had the title.
The Mysterios and the Usos. That's going on.
So, Manny, I'm going to ask you,
that's all I got.
What did you think
they ain't doing better either.
of TK's announcement? He had 2 announcements. The first one is that Tanahashi will be facing the winner of the Archer Hikulele match, who I can't even say his name, King Haku's son. And then on top of that, they will be doing an event in Chicago where Darby Allin cut a promo with Sting talking about we can find out if you even think he's the best of the world. So they hinted at CM Punk. What did you think about TK and his announcements that took place on Dynamite?
Well, you can't call it an announcement if you ain't doing it yourself.
But Manny, we don't want we didn't want the truth to come to prevent. We don't need TK out in the ring, right? We don't want that to happen.
I want him outside, and I want him to become a personality, just so his show will start falling by the wayside.
Don't go Dixie. You never go full Dixie. Although I'm gonna blame Bischoff for the start and McMahon, but you don't go Dixie.
Is it petty that AEW's first show is coming the day before SummerSlam?
Yes, it is.
Somewhat.
It is the 20th.
But at the same time, I think that
it's good business.
You know, although Vince claimed he doesn't see competition, he sees competition. He just doesn't see them as WCW. I mean, and you know, clearly there are it's a feud that is going on that I think is good for the fans, but it's just so many things that I don't quite understand. I was ready to ask Marcus that he think Hikulele, I can't say his name. I hate that I can't.
It don't matter. You can't say his name like he can't wrestle. Let's go.
Well, that was a question for you, Marcus. Does he have the potential? Does he have the potential to be the next big man in the game?
No, because he was overshadowed already by his damn father Haku, who came out after him. Haku's already the biggest star. He got the biggest reaction of anybody in that segment. Fuck everybody else. It's all about Haku. I didn't care. He got to develop some. He shouldn't be on TV. He fits in the line with Brock Anderson and all these other random people they throw on the show.
Oh no, he's better than Brock Anderson.
He's just bigger. Anderson. He's just bigger than Brock Anderson. That's it.
He's better than Brock Anderson.
They still have that same green look in their eyes.
So let's get to a match that I just have one question for. I don't care about the match at all, but it was a match where the Private Party teamed up.
Are we going to talk about the CM Punk thing, or is it the United Center?
If you want to.
They sold out, man.
No, according to Levi, they are almost sold out.
They're close, and they're going to sell out. And, you know, as the weeks coming, I thought it was a clever tease of the having the best of the world there and not saying it. Because, you know, TNT get pissed if they don't advertise their surprise. Like they did with Sting. So there was a nice way of saying he will be there. And I guess Darby's going to accept a challenge of some kind. But Darby is somebody I'll whoop up.
Let me just tell you. AEW could be setting himself up because Punk is known to be flippy, wishy-washy. You never know what he can do. At the end, this is. I just don't think this is for a long-term situation. Personally, I feel like, yeah, great, you got him. It's like, it's a great thing to get all the headlines and stuff. But a year from now, will it mean anything? I just don't think that CM Punk versus Darby Allin, if that is the match, is something that will make it exciting for me. But I realize that I'm not the demographic that AEW attracts. So I don't.
Never the demographic.
Yeah, because, even if CM Punk came back to WWE, I wouldn't be excited. It's just not like,
So, I think there's more money in him. Actually, it would have been more money in him returning to WWE, cutting skating promos of where the product is at, and feuding with Triple H and Roman and all that stuff. I think there's more money in WWE than is AEW and he has nothing to complain about in AEW other than, "Hi, I'm in AEW."
Oh, he'll find some way. He's CM Punk. He has a problem with everything.
That's my whole thing. I just hope that his next pipe bomb is not, "Let's go talk about the other company." I don't need this. Let's move on from this. You guys are in your house. They're in their house. It's enough space for wrestling fans in the world. I don't know. It just doesn't really get me excited. It just doesn't do it.
I think it should. I think he'll return to wrestle again. I feel like it works better if he returns to WWE. I'm more excited about what Daniel Bryan does in AEW than what CM Punk does, because I think he's just a better wrestler. And Bryan Danielson is, my guy, and I want to hear the final countdown return and all that.
I'm more excited
about that.
I'm more excited to see what Daniel Bryan does or Bryan Danielson does in New Japan.
Are you more excited? Are you more excited about the Paige potential comeback?
The who?
I am.
Paige
Paige
is getting in shape. Yeah, she said she's able to go to the gym again, and she's working out. Her neck has shown improvement. I'm hoping Paige gets her day.
I want her to avenge what Sasha Banks originally did and put her ass on the sidelines.
Wow, Paige versus Sasha, like that. It's interesting. That would be intriguing. So does AJ show up at AEW now and try to fix that women's division?
I don't think she fixed anything. I don't know.
I know, Mark, you weren't a big fan of it. So
I think the character's all right, but her in-ring work is just like, hey, it's AJ Lee.
Going back to AEW, this is something that I want to ask you guys, because there was a match that took place, which I don't think anybody wanted, and maybe there are people who wanted. It was Private Party teaming with Angelico going against Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage. Arguably, in my opinion, Jungle Boy got the biggest pop, one of the biggest pops of the night. I feel like it's
not bigger than Haku.
I feel like it's a tragedy that Jungle Boy is being like. Isn't it time for him to move on to maybe get some of that Darby Allin treatment where he can show that he can be a breakout starter? Because he's had good matches, but they still keep him linked in these trios. Manny, what do you say about that?
Well, he had a good match. Didn't he have a good match against Kennedy a couple of weeks ago?
He did, but it just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I think you still keep him with the Jurassic Express, just because. What else are they gonna do? Because the other two are just gonna be lost in limbo, and I don't have anything else to my point. So you probably should go to Marcus.
Okay, Marcus, we're going to you.
What?
As soon as his hand went up, I lost my point.
Yes, when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Look what the Miz. But he needs to dump the dinosaur. Dump Marco's stunt and go solo. I would love to see him, go after Miro, God's favorite champion. And I think he'd go in as an underdog, and I think the TNT title fits him better. Not fits him better, but a feud with Miro. I would like to see the TNT champion actually get into a feud. Like, Miro has been even when he's just doing promos and saying the title picture has dried up since he became champion. It has. Since Cody has been out that picture, or Darby hasn't went back for his title, I just think that Jungle Boy and I almost called him Rusev, Miro would be the feud right now. I would go that route.
Let me ask you this question.
He can't become world champion because either Kenny's going after the Punk or Hangman or whatever route he goes down. Jungle Boy seems to be getting lost in the shuffle, but he does have time. He's still young.
I wouldn't mind, Marcus. I can honestly say, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I wouldn't mind seeing a Jungle Boy versus Christian feud if Christian becomes dirty and turns on him. I think that could be something like a little mid-level feud to show that Jungle Boy could be a individual talent. Manny, you grimaced at that.
For old men. Yeah.
You grimaced at that suggestion, Manny.
No, I don't want to see Christian Cage. And I'm going to state it now. For the people that watch the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, Christian Cage ends up in a title feud against Kenny Omega. I am not covering AEW that week.
One, I want to just say this about a few of the comments you flashed on here. Rusev was amazing with his double-jointed wife. And I can't wait for Lana to show up in AEW. I feel like she's gonna.
Marcus, they can't pay all these people. They can't.
They can, Eric. They can, and they will, and then they won't. Somebody, Lee John said, Big Shotty is going out. He gonna be the first release.
That fool almost broke his neck.
There's gonna be a point when they will lose all these guys. And Manny, what were you talking about right before we got into this? Because I lost my thought. When Eric said they can't pay all these people. Shoot, what was Manny talking about?
He wasn't talking about anything. Marcus,
he had a comment.
Marcus, he had absolutely nothing with Jungle Boy, Christian Cage. He had nothing, Marcus.
Oh, it was about Christian. I don't want to see Christian do shit. I feel like I'm a Christian Cage fan. I think it's over for him. I am not interested in what he says. I'm not interested in what he do. Like when he has a match, I kind of just roll my eyes and go like, whatever. Christian's last one. Christian is nice for a one-off when he returned in the Rumble. That was a nice setting. Or if he would have had maybe one more match in WWE involving Edge and him teaming together. Other than that, I have no more interest in Christian. It does nothing for me. Him challenging Omega does nothing. His matches have been, I want to say, good, but probably boring. There's no money in him anymore. I think he's just somebody. He would be on my. I need to sign big talent. I need to cut Christian Cage out of there.
Marcus, I'm gonna ask you a question right now because you seems like you pretty hateful of Christian Cage. So I'm gonna give you.
I'm not.
Marcus, wait. Let me finish. Mark, I don't give you this or that. Mark, I'm giving you. Marcus,
Fat Charles Barkley.
God damn it!
For me.
I'm gonna have to mute him. Marcus, I have a question for you. While I muted you, you have a choice. You can either cut Christian Cage or you can cut Matt Hardy. Which one are you getting rid of?
Matt Hardy.
I'm unmuted?
Yes. Christian Cage or Matt Hardy, Marcus.
Honestly, at this point in their career, I would cut Christian Cage.
Really?
I think Matt Hardy, with all the stuff I don't want to see with him, Matt is more interesting than anything Christian is doing.
Manny, what about you?
Even if he brought back the delete thing, or if they brought Jeff Hardy, that's more interesting to me than anything Christian's doing.
Manny,
I'm releasing Matt Hardy. Everything he's done since he's joined AEW has been boring.
So
everything, including being drowned.
Manny, what do you feel about Levi's comment right here? AEW does not realize that a Chicago crowd will turn on Christian in a main event.
I don't think they'll turn on him. I don't think
they'll care.
I don't think they will have that match. You don't go to Chicago at All Out with Christian as your main event. It's going to be Punk. Punk is doing what he hated that Goldberg and Lesnar did to him and The Rock, and that show up and get a title shot and become champion. And with respectfully so to AEW, you put the belt on that man.
It's called being a hippo in a crate. Now, so as we know, the main event took place was the death match. I've already said I don't like these type of matches, and I think we spoke on it a little bit earlier on. Manny, is there anything you want to add to your overall thoughts and impression of the death match that closed out AEW Dynamite?
Well, for Mortal Kombat fans, this is the closest thing you're ever going to get to Baraka being on TV. And
shut up, Baraka.
And I think the creators of the next Mortal Kombat movie should really consider casting Nick Cage.
Nick Cage or Nick Gage?
I said Nick. I meant Nick Gage. I can't stop calling him Cage.
It's the days of our community. You got Christian Cage, Brian Cage, Ethan Page, Nick Gage.
In a cage,
full of rage.
But that's what I said. If you go back to the Mortal Kombat review, I didn't like it because it was missing Baraka. And I got Baraka on AEW.
So, my whole thing about this match was, it was what it was. Am I blown away by it? No, because I'm not blown away by it. And I'm not saying that this is easy, that anybody could do. But it is kind of easy anybody could do to get light tubes hit over your back or to cut somebody with a piece of cutter. I'm into the athleticism of wrestling, okay? I'm into that. But I want to tell you this. I was excited for the match once Jericho got sliced with a piece of cutter. when Jericho got sliced originally with the pizza cutter, and I was like, you dealing with a pathetic. Because he got that pizza cutter on your ass. And the Domino ad that went with it, I thought that was brilliant marketing until I thought it was stupid. I really wasn't a fan of this because earlier in the night.
For the audio listeners, Eric has just put a picture of Baraka on screen next to Marcus.
Yes. To me, that is the next AEW TNT champion right there. Baraka, a black man.
So now Betty understands why I was messing up with everything else, because I was trying to do that and I couldn't get it to be done right. But I think it was worth the reaction of what we got.
It was.
So overall, believe it or not, I did not hate AEW Dynamite. I thought it was a good show. Marcus, what? It's a reason why I skipped it.
What, if you don't like the black and white feud?
Do you want to talk about it, Marcus? Go ahead.
Do you think they're hitting it too much on the nose if they're going to wear white and black suits every week? Because now it doesn't seem organic. They did the first week, Cody and Mr. Malachi. They did the first week, but every week they're going to be wearing opposite color suits.
Marcus,
I feel like they're overdoing it.
Marcus, I've been a Cody Rhodes fan for a long time, but Marcus, is sometimes that I just feel like he's doing too goddamn much, and I just didn't want to acknowledge this. So if Manny would like to speak on Malachi and Cody, go ahead, but I'm ready to move to talking about the Tribal Chief personally.
But it's clearly that they have no words or beef with each other, that they just have random pull-aparts. Like, there's nothing they can say. The mic work is terrible and they're covering it up.
You also told me that I couldn't talk about my petty moment of them having signs of where they sit at in the backstage area. So I don't want to talk about that.
First of all, you brought on your petty moment onto the show, so you might as well speak on your petty moment now.
Well, I just said that I was offended that they had to have Microsoft Word printouts showing where the executive vice president was sit at, where the trainer was sit at, and where Tony Khan sit at. I mean, like, you should know where you sit at.
You don't need different arenas for the setup crews, for the crew.
Eric, if I found out you were sitting in my spot, in my chair, I'd be furious.
Yeah, I have my own perfectly designed chair for my bag at back. All right, my doctor prescribed me this. Don't be sitting in my chair, all right? Ruining my backyard.
So, Manny, we're going to jump to SmackDown, and the question I have for you, John Cena said if you found someone who makes missionary position interesting for 2 decades, you should keep them around. Do you agree or disagree with what John Cena said?
Well, it's true. You're right.
I mean, there's nothing more.
If you could turn something boring interesting for 20 years, that person's a keeper.
You're right.
Yeah. And the fact that I thought that was the most brilliant switch of the week in promos, in which Roman cut John Cena deep. He cut him deep. Only for John Cena to come back with that, I went, shit, Roman can't win. He can't win in these battle of words because I didn't see that coming.
But the true winner that I saw in this whole opening segment was my boy Baron Corbin, who's really hit a rough patch in his life, where he told John Cena, I know you got more money than that. What you doing, man?
John Cena, you're rich.
Yeah,
you're
it's
rich,
like,
John Cena.
help a brother out. Marcus.
You got Fast 9 money. You got upcoming Suicide Squad money. You got SummerSlam money. It's the summer of Cena, and all you got was $100 in your pocket. For what?
That wasn't even $100. That was like 10.
No, I felt that.
Hamilton.
What
would do with a Hamilton? Get a ham sandwich?
Marcus, Kevin Owens had more money than John Cena had in his pocket, and it makes no sense because we shouldn't be counting John Cena's money, but we know this has been the summer of Cena right here, so we know he is paid in full. It's to the point where Nikki Bella's like, damn, I missed that on this paycheck. I could have followed the rules a little bit more. But
well, she didn't like missionary, Eric. She didn't like missionary. John Cena found a woman that did that. He's was so. Now I read reports that he was the wife and put a baby in.
That's also true.
Out of petty spite, he planned on having a baby on Nikki, Eric. I bet you he was watching telebells every week with her new man going, I'll put a baby in somebody. I'll piss her off.
Baron Corbin involvement at the beginning of the show didn't make much sense, but you didn't think it was going to pay off any at the end. But it actually, in the contract signing, Baron Corbin got involved and made probably WWE, the most convoluted place to work at when it comes to contracts. And Roman really should never have any more contract signings because he doesn't really do well at these situations. I enjoyed everything about the contract signing. I enjoyed Roman explaining to Finn Balor that John Cena has completely disrespected him and overlooked him. And he also said that, you know what, I'm going to smash you and send you back to NXT. Man, if you want to talk about being the fifth labor of Jericho, I'm telling you right now, Roman Reigns is a boss, a final boss that you just know, damn, I'm going to have a hard time beating him. Manny, the contract signing. Who set up the rules of Baron Corbin being involved? Was it Adam Pearce? Was it John Cena? Or did Baron Corbin just have ideas of grandeur thinking that he could be in the main event against Roman Reigns?
I don't know where Baron thought, what Baron was thinking. Baron's out of his mind. I think he was thinking,
it was the move.
I think it was, if I lose this match, I'm still getting paid kind of venture, where he should be just trying to get random matches to try and win to hit that pay window.
No, so Manny, what you don't understand is that it's two things. Baron Corbin has like crackhead tendencies, but he's a white man that has fell from grace, where he knows his money and his debts are outweighed everything. So he can't chip away at his debt that he has. He needs a huge payday. That's why when he came out there and whipped Finn Balor's ass, he tossed him into the little section over there. I was like, damn, he had a pen in his pocket, but he hesitated with signing that contract. Now, Marcus, I know how you say you wanted no more Christian Cage, but would you have accepted Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin for the title? Tell me, Marcus.
Under those circumstances, Eric, yes. Yes. Because the way Roman looked at it and going, whoa, this is interesting. I don't think contracts work this way, as everybody alluded to. But if Baron Corbin put his name on that contract, and that was the main event of SummerSlam, I'm blown away by the storytelling of WWE that a desperate fool has got in there, and they transitioned to Finn Balor versus John Cena as a feud because John Cena caused everything. I was invested by this. I was shocked. I did not see Baron Corbin coming back, and I'll see this. I'd rather see Baron Corbin ask somebody for money every week than see him do the quickest clothesline in the game, showing that agility.
No,
I love him asking for money.
I really thought.
I think he lost a step since he lost his money. I don't think he'll be able to do the quickest.
No,
I don't think he'll be able to do that clothesline anymore.
I thought
he
it
lost
was
his gym membership, so he's not as fast.
I thought it was it was a very interesting way to tell a story, and it was also a very interesting way to get Finn out of the title picture. I don't really agree. I don't agree with it, but as they said backstage, when Paul Heyman tried to point out Finn Balor's name is on the contract, but Adam Pearce said this is Cena's signature. And a shout out to John Cena giving shout outs to the sharpshooters by signing his contract with a Sharpie, showing that he is a part of the Sharpie Nation. I really appreciated John Cena doing that for us. You know,
he writes like he just had a stroke, or he writes like a 4-year-old. The way he held that pen.
Well, we've seen him right before when he wrote JBL is poopy, so we know he's not very literate, Manny.
Literate, Marcus. Literate, you mean?
He didn't write that. He sprayed that with a spray can.
Literacy means reading and writing, Eric.
And I agree with Montez. They did Finn dirty, man. But Finn should have never been.
No. Go. But me to go in this segment, this whole thing made me sick and upset for Finn Balor. I felt like he was treated on the wayside. I thought Roman disrespected him. I thought Cena disrespected him. I thought Baron Corbin just tossing him in thin air disrespected him. I thought NXT was completely disrespected. I thought the announcement that he has to fight Baron Corbin next week and there's no justice for Finn going on. If he doesn't come out next week and say, this is some bullshit, Mike, and I don't even know when I was Australian more than it was Irish. But if he doesn't come out and say this is bullshit, I demand my title shot. I should not be fighting Baron Corbin. They're doing the man dirty.
Let me tell you.
And I did not like this because none of it made any sense. And Eric, if this was AEW, you would be ripping them down there.
Oh, no, Marcus.
Because you already attacked AEW for their pettiness of having, whether they were the EVP or if they were Tony Khan labeled.
Marcus.
But you're not going to rip this in their contract.
Marcus, I'm going to rip this, but first and foremost, let's give a shout out to something that needs to be protected at all costs. And Manny, I stand with you. Pat McAfee needs to be protected at all costs because his commentary and his side remarks are hilarious. When Roman said, "I will send you back to NXT." He whispered, "NXT on USA on Tuesday nights. Check it out." And I just died laughing. I was like, yes, go ahead and do that. Marcus, yes, Marcus, dynamically, this is a segment that if it took place in AEW, I would have hated. However, Marcus, the reason why I did not hate this segment is because the three individuals in this segment I am huge fans of. I like Finn Balor, I like Baron Corbin, and I like Roman Reigns.
Well, you gonna snub Cena?
Regardless.
You're snubbing Cena?
I can't see Cena, man.
Wait. So if this happened on AEW, you would hate it immediately.
No, I'm hot, Manny. I don't think Cena should be in this picture. I don't think he should have a title shot.
No. I'm not talking about that. So if this segment happened on AEW, you would have hated it immediately, regardless of who was in the segment.
No, if it was the right people.
Hold on.
If this was FTW, I would hate it.
Hold on. Let me tell you. Let's swap this out. No. I'm going to put the AEW cast in this scenario. At the head of the table, you got Kenny Omega and Doc Allen.
He can't sit at the head of the table.
Okay. No, he's sitting at the head of the table.
Marcus, Cody. Cody's the only one that...
No. We're swapping this out.
You put your hate aside for this segment.
Okay.
Go on, Mark. Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay. On Finn's side, you have Hangman Page, who probably deserves this title shot, and it's the young upstart who needs to go and fight Kenny Omega. In the ring in the back, you have a very angry, newly signed CM Punk who wants to come out there and sign a contract for All Out. And as Baron Corbin, you have, I don't know, Rusev or something. I honestly don't know.
No.
The Blade. The Blade. You got the Blade.
No, you can't put the Blade. Darby Allin. Darby Allin
can't be Baron Corbin. I got the Blade.
Or Jericho.
The bum.
Or Jericho. One of them has to be Jericho.
I feel like you guys can't even get this scenario right.
I think it's the Blade. He got nothing. He has nothing going for him. It's the Blade. And so the Blade goes out there and writes his name on the contract, or about to do it, only for CM Punk to give him a go to sleep, and then sign his name in childlike letters. What do you think of the segment at that point?
Marcus, I will let you know right now, if there was ever a world where the main event was supposed to be the Blade versus Kenny Omega, I would be so happy that CM Punk came out and did what he needed to do, Marcus. I would celebrate this segment.
I'm happy that Cena did what he did, because I want Cena Reigns and not Reigns and Balor.
However, AEW fanboys would be like, brand new match, people.
Yeah.
Blade versus Kenny Omega.
But you know,
that's a new matchup right there.
But the thing about it, though, I thought overall in the segment, until he got ragdolled by Baron Corbin, I thought Finn did a very good job of carrying himself in the ring with Roman Reigns. Even though Roman Reigns was staring at him dismissively, I thought Finn still looked like he was going to kick his ass. He was like, yeah, I'm going to beat your ass and take that title back to NXT, which airs on Tuesday nights on USA.
Hold on. When he said that, I thought that man had to be stopped at all costs.
Yeah.
I thought that's when Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville needed to step in. You plan on doing what with that title? You plan on taking it back to that top, a show where nobody watches? I can't have that. This is the Fox title, baby.
But see, like, for me though, like, although many people can argue what happened to Punk is dastardly, what happened to Finn is dastardly and like it's out of context. But for me, the biggest disservice that's taking place on SmackDown are what they're doing with Big E. I don't know why he's been ridiculed to or regulated to these 6-man tags with Big E, Cesaro, Nakamura, Apollo Crews, Ziggler, and Robert Roode. However, Nakamura, apparently it's over again because the whole crowd was singing this song. So I'm just having this 6-man tag, Marcus.
Boom.
What did you guys, Marcus, what did you think? Because you've been a Nakamura fan for a long, long time.
Well, I think Apollo Days' Intercontinental Champion is over, and that crowd called it.
Yes.
Commander Aziz is going to be out of a job. As Eric gets his Jamba Juice in secret. He don't think it's on camera, but we see it.
It's on camera, man. I
know.
He's going to be live sucking on stream.
Yeah. Eric sucking on YouTube.
Well, that's what people say about my show anyway. They say it sucks.
Hold on, Betty. You suck. You suck.
You suck.
You suck. Or Eric sucks. The hater sucks. Go ahead. But now that you done sucking and smacking on it and slurping it.
And swallowing it too.
Oh, you're like a disgusting bopper.
Manny, I don't even know what English term that means.
What do you mean? The toy bop it. You know, we
Oh.
Listen, pop it. Now swallow it.
But back to, so we were talking about Big E.
You've gone too far. You've gone too far.
We're talking about Big E,
But,
Nakamura, and all them.
You know, as we talked about the 6-man, I enjoyed the 6-man. I believe it's the same 6-man that they did last week instead of cutting to the Rolling Loud match that no one seemed to know what was going on. As pointed out by Pat McAfee, who said no one knew what the hell was going on, but it was amazing. They didn't know what they were watching.
Also, Pat McAfee pointed out the fact that Robert Roode threatened him not to dance to Nakamura's song, that he would beat his ass, but he said he couldn't fight the feeling and he had to dance. Maddie, do you agree with Pat McAfee? You have to dance when you hear Boogs and Nakamura come out.
Yes, you do. You have to dance. If you don't, and you don't listen to that urge inside your head, there's something wrong with you, and you need to be tested.
Yeah.
But Eric, I go back to a point you made at the top of this part when you were talking about Big E. I think if you include him in stuff like this, it makes the cash in seem more of a bigger deal. If he does it spontaneously, if he's continually stuck in these kind of things, so when he inevitably does cash in, you're a little bit more intrigued. Because when you know a cash in is going to happen, I don't think it's that you don't get that type of reaction from the crowd.
I mean, the interesting thing that I had heard when somebody was talking about the whole cash in of the Money in the Bank and the contract, that they said that when you cash in the title on a weakened opponent, it kind of is a heel move to do. And I don't know what position Big E is, but would Big E be kind of guy that would just approach somebody? Because I thought maybe
Lashley, he killed Kofi Kingston.
We still haven't got any mention of that, but maybe that could be it. Maybe after Goldberg fights Lashley, that's when he comes out. I'm not sure. I think I would personally go crazy at SummerSlam if that happened. Like after, Lashley has this match with Goldberg and, Big E comes out. You think I was done with you, motherfucker? I'm not going to let you do what you did. He beats him there. Like that's a real feel-good moment at SummerSlam.
But honestly, it could go either way with me. I think him cashing in after Cena and Roman have their big epic main event match and Big E does the cash in. If Cena wins, that makes sense because Cena has to go away anyway. So the way to get Cena on TV is to have Big E cash in on his ass. But I think the Lashley one makes sense. But to go back to the 6-man, to what Russ brought up, where was Nakamura's crowd? He took that crowd from Baron Corbin, goddamn.
He broke a man.
He ruined Baron
broke a man.
Corbin's life. And this week, he had the nerve not to have that crowd on. He can go fuck himself. Him and Boobs.
How dare you? How dare you?
That was rude. That was rude. If you don't wear that crowd everywhere you go after you ruined a man's life, you did it for fun. Okay? You did it for $1 like in trading places.
So Marcus,
how dare him and Boogs not bring the crowd? That's like not bringing the wedding ring to the woman you stole from another dude. Talking about, I forgot I married her.
So, Mark, let's talk about production-wise. WWE made a conscious effort that was very interesting to me, where we had Edge make an entrance. He's going down the ramp. They go to commercial. And then when we get back from the commercial, we find out that Drip Rollins whooped his ass. Whooped his ass through the entire commercial break. And then he gets into the ring.
His Native American suit.
Then he gets into the ring and he cuts his promo. Marcus, did you like that aspect of Edge's ass getting beat during the commercial?
I want to be honest right here, man. I might be one of the stupid WWE fans that Renee was talking about earlier in the week that WWE needs to talk to, because I was confused when they came back from the break. Because I forgot that Edge came out before the break. I remember him coming out, and then they were playing Rollins music, and I felt like something was off. And then he was in the ring. I was like, yeah, bro. And then they showed the clip, and I was like, oh shit, he did. He whooped his ass in the break. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Never put 2 and 2 together. I didn't even think about it. My memory was that shot. And so when they showed that ass whooping, Edge had that coming.
He did.
Edge jumped into the camera with his crotch, talking about, give it to me. Give it to me, people. Give it to me. And I was like, somebody need to whoop his ass. He sounded really rapey right now with me staring at his crotch from under him. That could give somebody nightmares. But I appreciate Drip Ross beating his ass in his Native American suit.
Manny, what about you? The whole aspect of Seth and, him cutting down Edge, and clearly Edge is the more profitable individual, not Christian Cage. Did you like seeing Edge getting paid to do less work?
Yes. Why not? I'm tired of this Christian Cage, I'm going to outwork everyone. You've outworked no one. Nobody. You've outworked no one. I don't know who you're fooling with your merch and your slogans. You are outworking no one. Edge is doing limited work and getting paid bucks. Millions of bucks.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Out there flexing in Dominic shirts. Wearing Dominic Mysterio shirt.
Yeah, who wears Dominic merch anyway? No one wears Dominic merch.
That was the most biggest favor of anything. It was a Dominic Mysterio shirt. And I went, why is he wearing that? Well, anyway, he got his ass whooped for even doing it. And that's where Seth Rollins had to cross the line. He's like, that's my arch nemesis. I tried to blind the Mysterios last year. I beat Dominic on national TV. God damn it. And how dare you wear
on the big
shirt?
screen?
Oh, you're right. Because I was doing something. My bad.
I just pointed out
Sorry about that.
Next week, I'm hosting.
But Edge had nothing to say, though, right? Edge had nothing to say, right?
No, he didn't.
Said anything. I was happy to hear from Drip Rollins because he stole everything from me. He showed some slanted footage that he never had an opportunity to money to make, and he was happy about it. He just showed the footage that y'all needed to see that Edge stole an opportunity for him.
So there was also a match that took place at the very beginning of the show. It was Jimmy Uso versus Rey Mysterio. I don't think anybody really wanted this match, and then Dominic helped his father beat Jimmy Uso the way the Usos beat them. And I'm just like, was this necessary? Was this a match that we really needed? Marcus, I go to you first. No?
Just sent me via satellite. I just want to do that. I don't know. I have no reason. I love when that happens on TV when they say, I go to you, and the person just sitting there staring blankly. Like, wonder when he gonna go to me? But I think the gaming commission and the officiating commission need to be on alert of a new move that can cost people matches. They are not looking at another man from the outside putting his feet on somebody's back. They need to pay attention and look at this. Clearly, there was some cheating going on the past 2 weeks.
I mean, like, it's the point where you got to go back and review the footage and see that these people have been cheating this way for a long, long time. Why?
Red flags everywhere.
Yeah, it's like
red flags everywhere.
You should be looking for this personally, right?
Yeah. Oh, we fucked up. The Usos got away with this twice in the same week. Now the Mysterios are doing it. We have a blind spot in our referee. Clearly, I'm out. I'm outraged.
Manny, did you care about the opening match of the Usos and
Ideally, I didn't. But then I got into the match. I actually enjoyed the match. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
Okay.
The opening promo from Mysterio telling Dominic you could learn something from this. But no, you can't learn nothing. You cannot learn nothing, my son.
It's been a long time, son. You should be better than this. You are trash.
So
you are trash.
The thing
this
that
old man got some tricks. This old man still got some old tricks.
Before we start talking about what really was the big thing that happened on SmackDown, there's one more small thing that I would like to discuss, and I'm going to ask Manny this question. There was a match that took place where Reginald, he has a trampoline now, and he's doing his flippity-doos, but he had an opponent that he had to fight for the 24/7 championship, and that man got one of the biggest heel reaction. Evil Otis, Manny, the man that's in your corner there.
Don't you put a picture on it?
I'm just saying, Manny. How did you feel about?
How dare you put a picture of Otis next to me,
Manny? Otis got a reaction, and I know you're in the dark right now. Do you think that whatever they're doing with the Alpha Academy is working? Manny, Otis is gone. You're safe now. He's gone, Manny. He's gone.
Yeah. I think what they're doing with Otis is actually good. They're establishing him as not as a joke anymore. He seems like, what are you doing?
Okay, he's really going this time. I'm done. That's just.
No. Watch what happens when I host next week. Watch what happens when I host.
I'm not letting you host. I refuse the show because you don't give me Brandon Cutler. I'm not dealing with it.
I'm gonna wear a Brandon Cutler shirt.
They don't make that.
The show looks even worse with the three of us.
Hold on. We can do it. Here's a story of a lovely lady who got the Benny from England. Yeah, he did another partner named Marcus. The youngest one in girls.
So let's talk about the biggest non-rules in WWE that took place on SmackDown. The return of Sasha Banks. I'm surprised that their partnership lasted as long as it did. Because I mean, we all knew that Sasha is a snake in the grass. Manny, when she walked out, were you shocked that she didn't hug her and then give her the finishing move right then and there?
I'm declaring that Bianca Belair deserves to lose the title in the next few weeks because of that stupidness of allowing Sasha Banks and falling for Sasha Banks' ruse. Stupid. Stupid.
I wanted.
Should have saw it coming.
I wanted Montez Ford to be shown video from him being his hospital bed, whatever he's ill of or injured from, going, "Baby, don't be trusting her. What are you doing?" Like, she ran out there, and I was immediately expecting her to immediately cut her and stab her in the back, like with a knife. That's how deep this hurt. Like, I don't understand why she was trusting her, that we even got to the main event, and she wasn't hitting her with a chair or anything. So for them to have the match and Bianca being like, I can trust her. No?
That's what happens when you trust a snake.
Is that Bang?
Why am I still in the picture?
I don't know.
Because, Manny, you're always in the picture. You're in the title picture. She deserved to be choked. She deserved to be strangled. She deserved to die at that point because she was stupid to fall for Sasha Banks. She's a traitor and a part of the Rebel Alliance.
Part of the Rebel Alliance, Marcus. That bad, huh? That bad.
I'm in the big box again.
What I thought was disappointing, I thought that we missed a moment.
I'm going to show my ass if I will stay in this big box.
Well, I thought we missed out, because I thought, why can't I'm thinking of her real name?
Bianca?
No.
Sasha?
Andrade's old manager. I can't remember her name. Zelina Vega. I thought Zelina, the fire that Zelina Vega. The fire that Zelina Vega brought in her promo, I thought really made me want to see a little bit of feud between her and Bianca. But clearly that was short-lived because she had that unholy alliance with Carmella. Marcus, do you want to see Carmella and Zelina go for the tag team championship since Natty is injured?
I believe they are, respectively, the best tag team that they have currently in that division right now, other than Shotzi and Knox, who aren't really much of a tag team because they're not even on TV. So I would give them the titles for that. And that Unholy Alliance, I don't know, was it for the word jump? We're going to jump Bianca Belair? Or did they talk that out? Or was it that like spontaneous, like, I really hate her ass?
So,
me too.
I guess the question I have for both of you gents and you lads is the question of, this was a week in WWE of betrayal. We had Sasha Banks who betrayed Bianca, and we also NXT had
betrayal. Sasha just went Sasha.
We had
a tiger attacked a human being. Tiger just went Tiger.
The NXT betrayal was the better betrayal.
Raquel Gonzalez finally got betrayed by Dakota Kai. Something that, just like Sasha Banks, we knew the writing was on the wall. It was just only a matter of time. Manny, you seem to be satisfied with Dakota Kai finally trying to send Raquel Gonzalez to the main roster. Were you happy with that took place on NXT?
Yeah, but I don't like the way they panned it, because it was like, it's coming. The way they do it, like, Raquel doesn't stand on the middle rope.
She don't stand on the damn middle rope.
She don't stand on the middle rope. Why is she doing that? Why? I didn't like the way they did it, but I like that it happened.
You know what I hate about the women's division is that they can't get punched in the nuts. I hate that you don't get the low obligatory low blow turn. I prefer those turns over anything else other than a chair to the back or jumping off the apron.
Marcus,
But I was happy that
I need to interrupt you real quick. Wes, that is a hard no. We do not need the Golden Goddesses to be reformed. Marcus, continue with your point.
Pregnant.
Who's grooving in your background with music, Marcus?
Whoever. Take your pick. But I didn't hear it until you said that, man, because I got these earphones on. But what were we saying? Shit.
You was talking about Dakota Kai in the middle row.
It's time for the Dakota Kai to get hers, and she will become champion. And it's how to lose. You saw the way the crowd reacted. They wanted this. They went Dakota. I mean, this crowd is shaky at best, but they also cheered Aaliyah at the same time.
Who was allegedly backstage at Smackdown last night.
Yep.
So
and she won her dark match.
Oh, Bianca is starting to become Sting in terms of trusting the rogue wrestlers. That might be true.
Right.
I mean, ain't no lie there. But since we're in the NXT realm, Manny, Samoa Joe being able to resign, then get rehired, and then get a championship match, is that one of the biggest boss moves that you can do in professional wrestling right then and there?
Well, he did it whilst being the assistant to the boss, so that was smart. However, if I'm William Regal, I'm questioning all of these decisions because he did not give a 2 weeks notice.
He did not
give a 2 week. He did not give a 2 weeks notice. I would be fired. I would be sending him straight to HR and be like, no, you have to wait 2 weeks.
No, Manny, when it comes to revenge, you don't give 2 weeks notices. This is all about revenge. This is revenge.
It is when you have to handle paperwork. It is when you have to handle paperwork. You go, I don't want to be. I'm resigning, and then I'm going to become a wrestler again. He is moving to a different job. He has to take a 2 week.
So Manny, Marcus, hold on. Manny, I agree with Marcus in this situation. Like, I understand what they portrayed out there in the middle of the ring, but I'm confident William Regal had already contacted Joe. You whooping his ass. Ain't no questions about this. I'm going to act like I don't know what's going on, but that motherfucker has got to pay for what he did to me. And that's why
because Regal wasn't even bored. Regal wanted to fire him. Regal wanted to fire Cross.
No, you can't fire him. You can't whoop his ass if you fire him, because then it become a legal issue.
Yeah,
I need him to whoop his ass.
And then fire him.
Yeah, and then fire him after. And it's not even for choking me out. You want to know why I wanted his ass whooped? For going to Monday Night Raw and losing to Jeff Hardy. That's why he needs to get beat up. It's not about me getting beaten whatever you did to me. It's about you showing up on Monday Night Raw, representing our company, our brand, to only lose to Jeff Hardy and struggle with fat ass Keith Lee. Man, you need to go home.
So, you know,
do it on Scarlett. But on a side note, what do you think about some of the backstage stuff that happened at NXT, in which they have banned the Wrestling Observer reporter, and Tony Khan has invited that dude into Jacksonville for whatever reason,
Marcus,
because he released spoilers.
Marcus, I don't even know that story, to be totally honest. I'm sorry, I don't even know.
I heard it. I thought it was stupid.
This is my most annoying story. This is my most annoying TK story of the week, in which he invited this dude into, like, oh, if they gonna bar you for the NXT arena, then I'm going to invite you to Jacksonville next week. Fuck them. And I'm like, yeah, but he was reporting spoilers and filming stuff and the wrestling. Get out of here.
You know, Tony Khan talks too much. Like, he's on every other wrestling podcast. He's
on Busted Open half the time.
He reacts far too often to whatever WWE do. So he needs to stop.
It's going to backfire.
He needs to focus on his own shit.
Continue to do stuff.
So a moment that I think we all needed that happened on NXT was at the very beginning. It was finally.
I had one more thing about Cross though, real quick.
Go ahead, Marcus.
So the plan for Cross on Raw was apparently to have him continually lose on Raw, not to be Keith Lee this week, but to continuously lose, only for Scarlett to come into Raw to save his career. I was actually on board with that storyline.
I mean, it makes sense because behind every strong man is a strong woman, and we all know that she gave him superpowers. For me, I try not to overreact to what people are trying to do with the storytelling that they're trying to do. I mean, if people did television shows in accordance to how wrestling fans reacted, most shows wouldn't make it past the first episode because no one has any patience for storytelling. Everybody wants to have that instant gratification right away. Like,
actually, no, wait, that statement's bullshit because these are the same fans that will suck off AEW for their long-term storytelling of this Adam Page and Kenny Omega story. So that point is ridiculous.
Manny, it
because
comes down
the people that are complaining about this Karrion Kross thing are the exact same people that are like that will go for the long-term booking over on AEW.
Yeah, I mean, it's a narrative because the narrative is let's bash WWE for whatever they do. And the narrative is let's cheer AEW for whatever they do. But the one thing that WWE did do that I feel that they got right with NXT is they finally put Pete Dunne with somebody other than Oni Lorcan to give him some. Ridge Holland is back, and can I not thank the NXT guys for any more because seeing Pete Dunne hang out with Oni Lorcan just lowered the ability that I believed in Pete Dunne. I ain't never bought into Oni Lorcan. Never will I ever buy into Oni Lorcan. I just think that Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland should be a thing, and they should jump out Oni Lorcan. Manny, how do you feel?
They need to stomp out that American and get him out of the squad.
Get that American scum out of there. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me add this. You guys may not like Oni Lorcan, but Oni Lorcan is serviceable at what he does. Yes, he looks like a putty, and yes, he doesn't seem like he can do much damage. But send my putties. They never got the job done. But except for maybe the first episode, then when Lord Zed got a hold of him, then the second episode of that, punch him in the Z, it was over. Couldn't protect it. But I appreciate Oni Lorcan in this group. I think they look like a more badass group with the three of them instead of them by themselves. Oni Lorcan is there, but it's like an evolution of who you got to get to. You don't want to fight Ridge Holland. You may want something Pete Dunne, the baddest man in NXT, but you don't want none of that. But you know you can get through stage one and beat up Oni Lorcan.
But by the way, when
what a pose! What a pose! That's art.
When the other English guy comes back, he shouldn't be back with the other with Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland.
Danny Burch. You forgot.
Yeah, Danny Burch shouldn't be with them either.
No,
he shouldn't be with them either.
If it was up to me, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch would both be released, and they can go sign at AEW. Personally, for me, that's just what I would. That's where it works out for me. So, Levi said in the comment that we couldn't because we're talking about putties. He says Karrion Kross has unfortunately turned into the Ascension territory. He's already lost at the starting line. Manny, do you agree with that statement, or would you disagree with that statement?
No, because that's part of the story. So you need something to get behind this man. So like when it be formidable, because everyone that comes in from NXT is always like seem to be the next big thing and stuff like that. No, and they're currently swerving people with the fact that they know that NXT call-ups have not been great in the recent get-go. So, what do? You make him look shit on the way up, and then suddenly turn him into this monster that he currently is on NXT. Marcus, I think you're jumping the gun before you actually get the story.
And Marcus, how do you feel about that with the whole situation with Karrion Kross and whatnot? Marcus, what happened? We can't hear you. Did we lose Marcus? Marcus.
Did you mute yourself?
Did you mute yourself, Marcus? Marcus. Talk to us, Marcus. We have dead air. Excuse me. This is where you need to have that technical difficulty side.
Marcus is in the phantom zone.
Yeah, he's talking, but we can't hear what the words that are coming out of his mouth. Do you realize we can't hear you? Manny, what is going on with Marcus?
I don't know, but I think we should carry on.
Marcus, I think you're back. You're back. Now we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I had to switch my headphones because it ran out of batteries. If you didn't see the smooth transition I made.
I saw it.
I Goldar back.
Because, Marcus, you can't mention a putty without Goldar being there.
Highest working number 2 ever. Mr. Management right there. He's never going to be the real boss. Never going to be an underboss. He just got it there. He's just complaining like this and people don't like this. He's packing cigarettes a day. One of the nicest perms in the game. I would love to see him without that helmet on.
All right, so what point were you going to make, Marcus?
About what?
I don't know. Let's find those. I find your AEW WWE comparison to be ridiculous. WWE has had a 75-year history versus all because they've done this for as long as most humans have been alive. So, if I'm understanding correctly, Levi, you're saying that we should hold WWE to a different standard because they've been doing it longer, and so we should allow AEW, who has seen someone do it as long as they have, make the same mistakes that I'm confused with that. I don't get it. I mean, Manny, do you understand the statement?
I get it in a point where you should call out WWE in that state because they have been doing it for a long time. But AEW have been the brand that's been telling everyone that they're better than WWE for like 2 years now, as well as being around for 2 years and knowing how to do it better than WWE. So you shouldn't be going in there with your anything but WWE hat kind of notions when you go into these arguments, because they're doing the similar thing. They're doing the exact similar thing, and a lot of the time, and you may be sprouting to something different, but like if AEW did it and then WWE did it, everyone would shit on the WWE version of it. If you did it at the exact same time in different test markets, I think it would be like that.
So El Luchador says that AEW has not burned as many bridges with me that WWE has, but I mean, when you think about it, the longevity of WWE, how long they've been around, I mean, I don't know. Marcus, what about you as you were zoomed in? Let me go to a better camera. What do you say about this looking like a black Triple H?
What's the question? I don't even know what the question is.
So Levi said, Marcus, he says that our AEW WWE comparison is ridiculous. WWE has had 75-year history versus AEW being around for 2. WWE should be called out because they've done this for as long as most humans have been alive. So pretty much is that we should hold, I think, WWE to a higher standard because they've been doing it longer, and we should let more things in AEW go because they're trying to figure it out.
Nah, I think it should be the same. I mean, people who write stories and do stories and all other TV shows, they haven't been doing it as long as other people, and they come out and they either hit it right or they miss. Everybody should be held accountable for whatever they're doing. Doesn't matter whose longevity is. Nothing. It doesn't. Like, if it's there to be, in their example, if you're like, oh, they've been doing this forever, they're doing the same old stuff, making the same mistakes, obviously that's who they are. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing, and they don't plan on changing what they're about. In AEW aspect, they've been around young. They have time to change and grow and build, their audience in whatever way they want to do it, and they can give people what they want, or they can retract. I feel like you should hold them to the same standard. I don't really care.
I think that we live in a world now where, at the end of the day, there's enough wrestling for everybody out there. There's enough wrestling for someone who likes the AEW. There's enough wrestling for the person that likes the WWE product. WWE knows who they are and what audience they want to go to. And I guess AEW does also. Just like there's a crowd for the Zack Ryder deathmatch group. I mean, it's something for everybody. And you know what?
The king of the deathmatch.
Enjoy what you enjoy. That's all I can say at the end of the day. And for me, I enjoy WWE more than I do AEW, but however, this was a very entertaining week for me at AEW, so I feel like it was a win-win situation. Now, going back to NXT, I don't know if I really want Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole again. I think I'm past this point. Marcus, where are you at with this? It seems like we just can't get away from these guys.
So I'm catching up now. Now that I've caught up with some of these comments and stuff. AEW may burn too many bridges. I'm reading Alicia Doris. May burn too many bridges with me one day or something. They just built more bridges though. When you build more bridges, you can burn more bridges. I'm just saying. Like you've been around that long, you're gonna burn more bridges. I'm just saying. Every wrestling fan gets angry about every little thing. Eventually, someone's gonna piss you off over whatever. Honestly, just watch it. Stop looking to get pissed off.
Now,
who burned who bridges.
Now, thank you, Marcus, for answering that question. But now, can you answer my question? Are you tired of Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole?
No.
Okay, that's it. Manny, what about you?
I don't know where we're going with this. If it leads to one of them going to the main roster, I don't even know what happened. Did Kyle O'Reilly go heel? I don't even know where we're at this storyline anymore.
He just attacked him.
He just attacked him. I don't understand it anymore. Do I want to see a third one? No. They've all been quite close to each other as well. That they need to spread them out a bit. I don't care about this match. They just had this match 2 weeks ago. I don't need a third one. That's so close to it.
So, Manny, since I have you on the main screen, I have a question for you. Did Wade Barrett sit down interview with Diamond Mine or just with Roderick Strong and Malcolm Bivens help you extend their expiration date in your eyes?
No, they've still got to take over. They've still got to take over to prove themselves anything. But Malcolm Bivens is a man that could sell you on Diamond Mine. That it made you believe in Diamond. It made you believe in Roderick Strong. But I will not be fooled by your words, Malcolm Bivens. I will not be fooled because I know who Roderick Strong is.
You will not have the veil pulled over your eyes. You will not be put into the mist. Go ahead, Marcus.
I am not sold by Diamond Mine, and them having a match with Bobby Fish ain't really bringing it. A feud with Bobby Fish ain't putting butts in the seats. That's all I'm saying. This meant nothing to me. Nothing. And Diamond Mine need to go away and just end this run.
So, Marcus, since I want something that means something to you, Hit Row, Legado del Fantasma, and now looks like Imperium all got into a little scuffle, Marcus. How did you feel about the scuffle that they had with each other?
Well, let's just bring Walter to the States. I think Imperium needs to mind their damn business and let this go down the way it needs to go down. Okay? It needs to be Hit Row, Legado del Fantasma, and everybody else needs to back the fuck away. Because there's 3-team, team. I hope NXT isn't introducing a trio title because they already have too many belts with the $1 million belt, the North American title, the women tag team titles. I don't need another NXT belt of any kind. But Imperium needs to back the fuck up. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Go ahead, Manny. You disagree with Marcus?
No.
Well, first of all, Swerve Scott is a poor man's Travis Scott.
Preach.
And the moment they in their backstage promo where he said it was spooky season, when he said it was spooky season, I wanted to stab him. I wanted to stab him in both his eyes and his vocal cords so he could not produce music ever again. I would have took Nick Gage pizza car and sliced his vocal cords.
And then, we still have the biggest problem is that no one has an answer for Top Dollar. Nada. It's just like Top Dollar is a big issue that Legado del Fantasma needs to really get by. Like, maybe if they had hired the services of Ridge Holland, this would have made more sense. But I'm concerned about the well-being of Legado del Fantasma, and I know that's where my bread is being buttered at right now. But
it's like going against the Lakers in the '90s with Shaq. Who's gonna defend Top Dollar?
Exactly.
I can't stop Shaq. I can't do nothing with that. His post game is just gonna be too much. He's gonna back us down. There ain't no fouls in wrestling. They gonna have to shoot him. All right, they gonna have to shoot that man to put him down, and hopefully they use a big enough gun.
Which made sense in the actual tag match. They isolated Adonis. Isolate the weak. You have to isolate the weak.
Yeah,
because we all know in the whole Hit Row situation, Adonis is taking all the loss. Anytime you see Adonis in a match, he's going to lose. We know this. It's written in stone. Now, Manny, I'm going to go to you because I think we might.
Are we B-Fab is never going to wrestle? Are we in the clear?
Marcus, the question is, will B-Fab wrestle before Jade Cargill again? I don't know. I don't know. Whatever happened, Jade Cargill got her manager and she hasn't been on TV since.
She's on Dark.
Yeah, that's not where the money's
AEW
at.
Dark with the Dark wrestlers.
But Manny, I have a question for you. I enjoy the Cameron Grimes and LA Knight promos. However, I'm afraid that the grizzled young veterans are going to be.
This one was a stretch this week.
They're going to be liabilities in this situation where they're going to be victims of LA Knight and Cameron Grimes teaming together, and I'm not a big fan of that. I enjoyed the segment, but I don't want to see grizzled young veterans be destroyed. How did you feel about it?
I don't think they'll be destroyed. I think that would be the match that breaks both that breaks Grimes and LA Knight, where they're gonna have to have a second match. But I don't feel like it's anything less for the grizzled young veterans, because they are the greatest losers in the tag division on NXT. They lose every time they get to the mount.
They're
top
grand
of the
losers.
They lose every time.
What about you, Marcus?
And to go back on WWE feuds with not involving the tag team title, the Grizzly Young Veterans had a fuse with Ciampa and what to call him, for whatever reason that was about. But I believe this is a match they can win. They can win this one if they fight next week. And are you guys in the vein of seeing Grimes and Knight team together more than being opposed to each other, managed by Ted DiBiase, and they can be the $1 million tag team?
I don't know.
Or the Mega Bucks 2.0.
I don't know what you do with Grimes at this point. I think you send Grimes up to the main roster because I think his character can work up there. Because you don't need him to do anything but just be himself. I
fear if you do that now, we'll be stuck in 24/7 world.
And for Cameron Grimes, that's not a problem.
Humberto chasing that title. Yeah. No, it is a problem chasing that title. Fighting Reginald.
Marcus.
No, I think Reginald will go down as the greatest 24. Oh, I'm sorry, no disrespect to the man who has lost his accent, by the way.
Wes says, how is WWE pulling off this Butler gimmick than AEW? Says better talent with Grimes and Knight. I didn't know what cared about Chuck E. T.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone cared too much about the feud, to be honest.
Yeah, it was like, eh. But the feud that is long going
and Miro was probably, it might be one. Is that the worst thing to come out of AEW? The best
might have been
Miro storyline.
Might have been.
I think nothing really has come from that, and it was waste of Miro and everything. It was just
best friends don't even really get on TV anymore. Marcus, the question I have for you now is that next week we're gonna have a match.
Finn's injured, Eric. And Orange Cassidy's on TV every week.
Whatever. We have a match next week. Johnny Gargano.
With your boy William Yuta.
Marcus will be going against Dexter Lumis with the understanding if Dexter Lumis wins the match, he will be able to join the way. Marcus, are you about...
No, I thought
No.
Indian moves.
He gets a chance. They got to give him a chance.
Yeah, they got to give him a chance in the way.
Invited over for dinner?
Yeah.
No, not a chance in the way.
Oh.
A chance, Eric. I mean, he's invited for dinner.
Wait, so we're gonna have?
You take her out to dinner. Indy Hartwell can live her life.
All right, so Marcus, for me, I need Dexter to win because I need dinner at the Garganos with Dexter Lumis showing up trying to court Indy Hartwell. I need that to happen. What about you?
Yeah, but it might go 1-2 skit or too many. I don't know where we go with that, but I can't see Lumis beating really Gargano. Unless Indy's cheating, and I don't know how they want to break up the way.
What about you, Manny? How do you feel about that?
He's going to the
I love every time we get dinner at the Gargano. The funniest one was with Tegan when they broke the TV.
Yeah,
which started this whole indie thing.
Yeah, because she bought that TV for Johnny, and and then I guess another thing that happened on NXT, Carmelo Hayes beat Josh Briggs. Did anybody care?
Reference the TV. The TV I bought you. That'll make me laugh.
Carmelo Hayes won, Marcus. Do you care?
He had to win. He had to win.
Did you not like the other guy, Marcus?
His opponent seemed like nothing. No, he looked like nothing to me. I forgot his name already, but he was
Josh
like
Briggs, Marcus.
Carmelo Hayes is the Black Buddy Murphy, though. That's all. He looks like Buddy Murphy. He wrestles like Buddy Murphy. He's the Black Buddy Murphy.
All right, and now we have a couple of emails to get it, get it started. First email goes.
Wait, no Raw talk?
I don't care about Raw.
Talk.
No. What do you want to talk about, Marcus? What do you want to talk about on Raw? It happened. It wasn't a bad show. Was it a good show? It happened. And you know what? If you guys want to hear them talk about Monday Night Raw, make sure to check out the Tuesday edition of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, where Manny and Marcus really broke down exactly everything
Raw
that
hate
took
is
place on Monday Night Raw.
Could you sound less sarcastic when you do that?
That was a read, man.
Because we actually do, all right? We covered some Nikki Ash, okay? Oh, that was what's going to be my name this week.
The sharpshooters at gmail.com. DA, the sharpshooters at gmail.com. I make them cough all the time. Anyway, the first email says, "What up, Sharpies and Pop? I want to email in about WWE and how we have become used to them releasing talent every year, but then I had a different thought. At some point, AEW will have to release people, so I decided to ask myself, what 10 people would they get rid of right now? I want you guys to let me know, who do you think, before reading my top 10 list. Also, I just want to state that whether I like the talent or not, I don't hope anyone gets fired." So I'm not going to read his list yet. So
who's this from?
This is from El Luchador. So Manny,
okay, because you hate AEW the most, you should do 4, and then me and Marcus will do 3.
Unfortunately, I can't because I see the names that he put inside the list already, so it would be unfair. So I get to play game show host and see if what we'll play the game is, Manny, you will go first. You will say a name. If the name is on El Luchador's list, the game keeps going and we don't have a winner. Then Marcus has to say a name, and if it's on the list, it goes back to you, and we'll see. We'll see who wins.
Okay, the Dark Order.
I can't think of the guy's name who I want to release. But
Manny, we're not doing groups. It's just individual talents.
Yeah, I could say anyone from the Dark Order.
Manny, I need you to give me a name.
Stu Grayson.
That's not fair.
Released.
Manny, I want the game to continue to be played, and if you go with the Dark Order, this game will be over already, and Marcus will be declared the winner. So please give me a name so we can at least go to the first round of 7 rounds.
You sound like a police officer. Give me a name.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Marcus, I'll let you go first.
Can you zoom me out, so? I feel like fucking Zordon in my view. Zoom me out.
Okay, Marcus. Now, since Manny failed at it, can you give me a name on the list?
We here in the Black Delegation are releasing Mr. Marco Stunt for $500. Because that's how much we paid him this year.
God damn it, you guys. God damn it. The game is already done. Neither one of you picked anybody. Manny, I'll go back to you.
Wait, no one picked. Wait,
Marco Stunt.
Alright, fine. I will give you a name. Mr. QT Marshall.
Correct.
The factory.
All right. We're cooking with fish grease right now. Marcus, who you got?
You got a bell? All right, we here also would like to release Luther from the Chaos Theory tag team. Just shows up on sidelines.
At this point, I would like to pronounce that Manny has won the competition because Luther was not on the list.
Yeah,
so
I don't know who he's releasing.
So
because I'm releasing the people they don't need. They don't need no Luther.
Number 10. Number 10.
Be on my payroll.
Number 10 on his list. Sonny Kiss. Number 9 on his list.
I will release Luther before Sonny Kiss.
Number 9 on his list. Joey Janela.
I would release Joey Janela before Sonny Kiss.
I would keep Joey Janela before Luther.
Number 8.
Get there.
Aaron Solo.
Yeah, he can go.
Number 7. Kip Sabian.
Yeah, he would have won.
I think I would have kept him.
Number 6. Lee.
Wait, I thought about releasing Kip, but then I could probably keep him a little bit.
Number 6. Lee Johnson.
Nah, you gotta keep quotas up.
That's 2 black people.
Number 5.
Some black people in this company. You can't just have white Confederate flags going like this all day.
Number 5,
I feel like you jumped up a number.
Vicky Guerrero. Number 4,
She's
Jake the Snake.
Hey, he might die before he releases him.
What?
Number 3,
They
Brock-
just re-signed him.
Brock Anderson. Number 2, QT Marshall. And coming in at number 1, rehire QT Marshall so you can fire him again. And that was who to release.
But there's several other people on this roster who I would get rid of first. And my biggest name probably would have ended up being Brian Cage. I feel like there's nothing in him at all that I can make nobody.
There's plenty of juice
I'm
in
on
him.
the fence with. Marco Stunt would definitely go. Fuego del Sol, whatever his name is, will be gone.
He got kicked this
Lance
week,
Stanfield
Marcus.
He took a great kick this week.
Don't mean he needs to be on my roster. The Liberian would go, and I don't care if he does have a new name. In fact, the entire group of the swingmen, the wingmen, they can all go.
The wingman. You mean Peter Avalon?
Yeah, there would be some major cuts. Paul White will be fired.
But you're not going to fire Mark Henry?
Nothing
Fired.
for me.
Mark Henry should be
Mark
fired.
Henry hasn't made his debut yet on what you call him yet.
Doesn't the debut happen next week? Isn't that when Rampage debuts?
Rampage debuts on the 20th of August.
Oh, okay.
No. That's the CM Punk episode. A week before that, the 13th is when they actually make the debut.
That is correct. Marcus is right.
CM Punk turns out week 2.
Damn, we going to be at SummerSlam instead of seeing CM Punk on
Damn.
Rampage. Damn. I'm so sad.
I'm happy with that. I have to be on the crack table. I can always watch
On the crack
CM
table?
Punk showing up
Are you
on Rampage.
are you going to be on the crack table? Is that what you said?
Both, son. Both.
All right.
I'm
So
doing craps and crack at the same time. The most deadly combination ever.
let me read
Someone's gonna get killed that
this
night.
last email so we can all call this a day. It's the guy who knows how to really get down. The guy who's about to take a trip out of town. The guy who's ready for some fun in the sun. It's the Dizman, folks. Let's have some fun. What's really good, Sharpies? What's really good? The reason I'm writing this email is to talk about AEW, particularly surprises. You brought up AEW surprises on last week's show. I think the reason they work is because things don't really get leaked. We don't really find out what's going to happen until they announce it. Think about when we found out that Mark Henry and Paul White were all elite. No one even knew those two had left WWE. The thing is, I think there are two reasons
Hold on,
things
Eric,
don't
pause.
really get leaked. Manny, I already know. Go ahead, Manny.
Paul, no one cared about these two guys.
Yeah, I mean,
because look, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk have not been announced by AEW yet, but we all know about it. Because people clearly
but in
care
their
about
defense-
these two. But
In
like
their
Paul White,
defense. In
Marcus,
their defense, Malachi Black showed up and no one saw that coming.
yes, but Malachi and Andrade are two people that they never promised surprises. Anytime AEW promises a surprise, you get Mark Henry, you get Paul White, and you get the illustrious Christian Cage. When they just have people that show up just to show up, it's a different effect. So for me, when TK says, hey, we're going to have somebody show up, it's whatever. What I take liberty at with Adrian's email is the fact that he says that nothing leaks. I think Daniel Bryan and CM Punk being signed by AEW is probably the most leaked story in professional wrestling in 2021. This is what everybody is talking about, and we don't even know if it's true or not. But
It's 100% true at this point.
or maybe not.
But
Nothing.
it's a leak. But into WWE defense, the spies and the Wrestling Observer, who normally leak WWE stuff, Dave Meltzer, keep things under wrap for AEW because he's on their payroll.
yeah, they try. WWE stuff comes out way too easily.
Well, have you ever thought that maybe stuff is being leaked because they're trying to ruin the WWE product while they're trying to enhance the AEW product? It's always a reason behind what stuff happens. The thing is, he says in his email, I think there are two reasons things don't really get leaked. Number one, there are a lot less people in the know, lessen the chance of the leaks. Number two, and this is a big one, talent is so hands-on with what's going on, things getting leaked would ruin the element of surprise. That's another thing. This isn't a bash or a dig at WWE, but from what I've heard, a lot of things that bother the talent there is communication. Talent usually shows up and are told what to do and not really given a chance to change it. And if they do want to change, tweak it, they have to talk to Vince, who, by the way, is too busy to talk. Dead set on how great it is, or distracted because you sneezed or something while you were talking to him. In AEW, you were told what to do, but can you paint the picture your way? Which, by the way, is, I think, why people are so happy. And since people are happy, why rock the boat? What do you guys think? Anyway, Sharpies, I'm going to go, but you guys take care. And remember, swing by Amazon and pick up a copy of my book.
Free advertising.
Let the man have his free advertising, Manny.
To be fair, he can advertise because no one buys anything on this show. None of you. None of you. None of you will go to www.storefrontier.com/DSPN. None of you.
I think that right now,
This is like 5.
Wrestling fans, we spend too much time trying to compare each product to each other, and at the end of the day, it's like you just have to like what you like and love what you love. I can't say that AEW is doing anything different or better than WWE right now, and I can't say that WWE is blowing AEW out the water. They're in 2 different demographics right now, and they're trying to attract different fan bases. And if you don't like WWE, don't watch it. If you don't like AEW, don't watch it, unless you record a podcast where you have to talk about it, and then you're forced to watch it. As Manny told me, because he almost did not watch AEW this week. Almost didn't. And would have missed a good show. Do you guys have anything you would like to chime in with that?
I wasn't that into the show. I wasn't that into it.
I think
There's like 2
when
things
you have too
interesting.
much, when you have too much creative control, that's where it's going to start creating problems. When you've got someone that has creative control on this side, and then you feud with another person that has creative control on the other side, they're going to clash. And that person's called CM Punk.
And then be a Polkadoo.
But then you also have to
Polkadoo is happening.
But then you have to come down to the conclusion too, is that like as they get more and more shows, like what is perceived as the A show and the B show, like you have Dynamite and then you have Rampage. So what are you going to feature the same wrestlers on the same show? Like would you see Kenny Omega show up on Wednesday, then show up on Friday, or will it be a completely different audience? And what if that audience on Friday doesn't draw the same numbers that the Wednesday show draws? Like, what happens? Like, it's so many things that you got to kind of come up with I just got to wait for it to happen because I can't even make a point. Manny?
But, you never know what's going to happen. Happiness isn't 100% guaranteed for the long term. Like, you can be happy now with the company, then 2 weeks later, or 2 years later, you're in a shoot interview talking about how there was favoritism in this, just so you can get a buck. So while you're there in the moment, everything's happy, hunky-dory. Same for both guys, WWE or whatnot. But, like, with AJ Styles coming out talking about CM Punk is a piece of shit in a comment, I'm paraphrasing here.
He said that years ago.
He wouldn't have said that back when CM Punk was in the company. Everything's all hunky-dory when you're in the company, but once you're out, everybody has a problem with everything.
Like I said,
and that's on both sides. I'm not saying
for me
positive in WWE or AEW.
I just pray to Wrestling Jesus that when CM Punk debuts, or even when Bryan Danielson debut, it is not a time that we're going to air grievances about WWE again. I'm so tired of that. That's why I enjoy. How come when people come from Impact, they don't get on, like Brian Cage get on the mic and cut a promo about how he hated Impact? You don't hear that. That's what I want people just to show up.
Well, tore Impact down. They have a working relationship with them, but they did tear Impact down multiple times when they said they were in charge of building that bomb. Impact was a poor, beat-up company, and multiple things. Impact is taking beating from AEW.
Well, they shouldn't lay in the bed with them.
Impact is taking this beating.
Well, with that, we are done.
Just because TNA.
We are finished. We have completed this show. I'm Eric, and I'm tired. And I'm going straight to the moon.
Really?
With Jeff Bezos?
No, not in the dick rocket. Not in the dick rocket. Manny, normally you follow me after I
Eric
say
gets the
I'm Eric.
balls in his dick rocket.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
man.
but you kind of just like ended it very like lackluster. Energy.
Yeah, you got to end it with a bang. End with some fire. With dynamite now and fireworks in the sky.
I'm Man E. Langston.
Come on, Marcus.
What? No. I'm Marcus the Grand Finale. I have no moniker, to be honest. I forgot what my moniker was to start the show. Anyway, so I'm Marcus the Grand Finale.
And we're the power of negativity. And until next week, stay sharp and stay negative, my people. We out.
Hey.
Hey.